The one topic that's going to improve your score in the shortest amount of time and give you the biggest bang for your buck is subject-verb agreement on the English section. I'm going to explain it to you. You master this and you're going to improve your score dramatically. So the first thing to understand for subject-verb agreement is just the fundamentals. I'm going to explain it to you as succinctly as I can. So subject-verb agreement means the subject and the verb have to agree. Singular subjects need singular verbs. Plural subjects need plural verbs. The prepositional phrase may trick you, and that's where the SAT or the ACT is gonna try and insert some of their trickery. So, for example, if we say the worker are going to lunch, right away you know that's wrong. It doesn't sound right. It would be either the worker is going to lunch or the workers are going to lunch. Now, why doesn't it sound right? Because the worker is the subject and the are going to lunch, the are is the verb. So the way that you can answer this is ask yourself, who's going to lunch? The worker. The worker is singular, so it should be the worker is going to lunch. So always ask yourself, who's doing the action? The SAT makes it a little bit tricky, but always ask yourself, who's doing the action? Who's going to lunch? The worker is. So the worker is going to lunch. Let's look at the next example. The worker, along with his 3 sons, are going to lunch. That sounds right, but in reality, it's actually wrong. Because who's going to lunch? The worker. The worker is still going to lunch. The along with his 3 sons is the prepositional phrase. The prepositional phrase is generally between 2 commas. It's extra information that could be removed without affecting the overall meaning of the sentence. So in this case, I could remove along with his 3 sons, and it's still the worker is going to lunch. So who's going to lunch? The worker is going to lunch. All right, let's move on. So a group of things all moving at once is singular. A group, a flock, a family. The flock of birds go north for the summer. So is that right? Should it be go north for the summer? Or should it be goes north for the summer? Initially, when you read it, it sounds right. And that's the trick with the SAT. They all sound right. But you have to ask yourself, who's going north for the summer? Who's going? The flock of birds is the prepositional phrase. Really is the flock. So the flock is singular. You would say the flock goes because you would say he goes, they go. So he, meaning singular, he goes. So the flock goes north for the summer. All right, and lastly, together with, as well as, and along with are not the same as and. We already discussed this. So when you have Jack and Jill go up the hill to fetch a pail of water, so Jack and Jill, it would be plural because who goes up? Jack and Jill go up, so they go up. Jack along with Jill go up the hill. Who's going up the hill? Jack. Jack goes up the hill. Along with Jill is the prepositional phrase. So now that you understand this, let me show you how this actually works in practice on the SAT. So you're going to see a bunch of these on the SAT, and I'm taking examples from SAT 1, SAT 3, but there are tons of them on every single SAT. So you master this concept, you'll definitely improve your score in no time. So let's look at question number 19. Scientists have long known that soot particles facilitate melting by darkening snow and ice, limiting its ability to reflect the sun's rays. So now we have to ask ourselves, limiting whose ability to reflect the sun's rays? Now let's read this again. Scientists have long known that soot particles facilitate melting by darkening snow and ice, limiting its ability to reflect the sun's rays. So whose ability? Limiting the snow and ice's ability. So the subject here is the snow and ice. So it would be limiting their ability because it's talking about snow and ice. Snow and ice is plural. So it's their ability. So it would be D. Note that C, T-H-E-R-E, is not the same there. That means a location. So where are you? I'm over there, T-H-E-R-E. All right, let's move on to the next example. Let's look at 44. Because today's students can expect to hold multiple jobs, some of which may not even exist yet during our lifetime, studying philosophy allows them to be flexible and adaptable. So during whose lifetime? Whose lifetime are they talking about? They're talking about the students. So the students' lifetime. So the students are their lifetime. Notice here they're trying to take the subject and the verb and move it so far apart from each other that you don't even remember anymore what's the subject. So always ask yourself, who's the subject? Whose lifetime? It's the student's lifetime. So it should be their lifetime. If it was one student, for example, it would be singular, so it would be his or her. But since it's multiple students, it's their lifetime. Let's move on. Let's look at number 5. Like any other health problems, these ailments can increase employee absenteeism, which in turn is costly for employers. So what's costly for employers? Let's ask ourselves, what's costly for employers? The employee absenteeism is costly for employers. Employee absenteeism is singular, so it would be is costly for employment. It is costly for employers because he is, they are. So it would be singular because employee absenteeism is singular, so it would be is costly for employers. A lot of students would say, okay, they're talking about the ailments, but they're not talking about ailments. The ailments cause employee absenteeism, which is costly for employers. So what's costly for employers? The employee absenteeism is costly for employers. So always ask yourself, what is it talking about? Who's the subject? All right, let's look at another example from SAT 3. So let's do number 15. These Harvey houses, which constituted the first restaurant chain in the United States, was unique for its high standards of service and quality. Well, what was unique? The Harvey houses, plural, they were unique. So it would be were unique for their high standards, right? Because it's plural. It's Harvey houses, it's plural. Also notice right here is the parenthetical phrase like we talked about. So which constituted the first restaurant chain in the United States are between two commas. You could remove it without affecting the overall meaning of the sentence. So in that case, if you read it with it removed, it would make even more sense to you. These Harvey houses, you don't say these Harvey houses was unique, you would say these Harvey houses were unique. So let's do another example from SAT 3. Hopefully you're getting the hang of it. Let's do number 26. While one MCP keeps apples firm and crisp for months, it also limits their scent production. Whose scent production? The apple's scent production. Right? Well, one MCP keeps apples crisp for months, it also limits their scent production. So it would be the apple scent production. So in that case, there is right. Notice for D, IT apostrophe S means it is. It's, for C, is a possessive form of it. And there, like we talked about, is a location. Hey, over there. Okay. We could go on all day. We're only on SAT 3, and you see how many examples there are already. So mastering this concept will definitely improve your score. Okay, so let's do number 36. Yet some of the earliest known works of art, including paintings and drawings tens of thousands of years old, found on cave walls in Spain and France, portrays animals. Okay, so what portrays animals? Let's ask ourselves, what portrays animals? The works of art. Well, of art is a parenthetical phrase. So it would be the works. The works portray animals. Right? Works is plural. They portray animals. They're trying to trick you here a lot. Because notice the including paintings and drawings tens of thousands of years old found on a cave wall in Spain and France, that's between two commas. So that's the parenthetical phrase. I could remove it. That doesn't impact the subject at all. And they're talking about works of art. Remember, of art is the parenthetical phrase, just like of birds. So works of art, flock of birds. They're really talking about just the works. The works is plural. The works portray animals. So it would be portray. Notice D says has, but it can't be has even there because works is plural, so it'd be have. That's why a lot of students get confused between D and they may pick C, D, but really, they may pick A, they may pick D, but really it has to be C because works is plural, so it's works, they portray animals. Hopefully, this gives you a good insight into the SAT grammar section and a key concept that's really going to help you improve your score. I really do appreciate all of your support. Please like and subscribe and share, and off to the next video.